Hello, everyone, and welcome at Wall Street's CEO Corner. I'm here alongside me with Gyula Fatér, the CEO of OTP Bank Romania. Hi,
Hello.
Gyula. How are you
Hello.
today?
I'm fine, thank you.
So I'm just gonna get right to it. So you took over OTP Bank Romania a few years ago, right before the COVID-19 pandemic. So tell me first, what's different right now at OTP Bank Romania compared to when you took over the leadership position at the bank?
Actually, I took it over more than 3 years ago, and in the last 4 years, we doubled our size. So that's definitely a difference. However, the proudest I am is not this fact. It's about the culture. I think the most important thing in a corporation is the culture. What I'm really proud of that we have a completely different, agile and customer-centric culture.
So, how did you start your career in finance? Was it something planned all along?
Maybe,
How do you get to be a CEO or banking CEO?
Actually, you have to know that I started 33 years ago. So then I finished the university. And then I spent 1 year in a manufacturing company. That was just during the time of the transition from the communism to the capitalism. And that was a really interesting time. And the coincidence was that my wife that time just spotted a job description in a newspaper, and then she said that look, they looking for someone for the stock exchange. Maybe it could be you.
Okay.
And I said, why not? And actually, that was my first step. And I started in the financial area. First, stock exchange, asset management, banking. So step by step, I improved my capacity in the financial world.
So, what advice would you give to some young student who currently wants a career in banking? What should he focus on?
My advice is that let's try more and more things, and don't be afraid of doing something wrong. Because if we are blocked by our fears, doing something wrong and making mistakes, then probably we're missing quite few good things. So my advice is let's try it. Of course, avoid the big mistakes, but let's commit a few small mistakes. And you will learn and you will find your voice.
So what are those big mistakes that he should avoid?
Of course, there are some, integrity issues. So you should never play with integrity. That's rule number one. But otherwise, in terms of the product, in terms of services, in terms of the solutions, so you never know that what is really well received by the public, the customers. So here, I think we should be more creative and more active, and this is what I think the new generation probably has more affinity to.
You talked about integrity. Is this a big challenge nowadays in banking or in finance?
It is definitely, but it used to be for all the time. Right. So this is the most important thing that a bank and the banker can have: the integrity and the stability and the creditworthiness.
Okay. So what's the most important trait that a CEO must have? What do you need to be a good CEO?
I don't think that...
Other than the board's approval.
Yes. I don't think that such a cluster or such a profile exists that you should be a good CEO if you are like this. I think everyone has a different profile. So this is what I was highlighting before. You should find your voice. You should find your way of being good. We have different skills. We have different characteristics. So we should find what is good for us. And if someone is really more humanistic than the other, I think his way is more through the human way than, let's say, the regulatory way. So that's, I think, there are a lot of room to maneuver. And I don't believe there is a rule that if you follow this path, then you will be a good CEO or not even a good manager or not even a good expert.
Was your job at the OTP as the CEO the first CEO position you ever had in your career?
Not really. I used to be CEO of an asset management company before.
In Hungary?
Before. In Hungary,
All
yes.
right. And how was that? Was it very different than your current job, or?
Oh, that was very different. But I think that all the jobs are very different. So if you believe that the next job is similar to that what you did before, you're wrong.
Okay. So what do you expect from OTP Bank's employees nowadays after 2 years of pandemic and growth is starting again in the banking sector as a whole?
There is one expectation from my side. Think about how the customer is seeing us, and be customer-centric, and don't stay in silos, but look around and understand what the customer wants from us.
Is it easy to understand what the customer wants nowadays when the customer doesn't really want to see eye to eye with a banker in the banking units and he wants to be more online?
No, I don't think it's easy, but not because of what you said. I think many people are really looking for personal relationship.
Really?
Even during the COVID. I don't think people were just cutting all the ties. And now after the COVID, I see that more and more people are really seeking for the old way of having personal relationship. So that's definitely, I think it's an imperative that we in this business, we should understand the personality of the customer and the personal way. And I don't think that it's easy, of course, but you have to force it. So what we do, we organizing a lot of meetings with the customers. Even during the pandemic, we organized meetings, online meetings, where our customers were talking about the products, how they perceive it, and our people, our colleagues, they could follow through Zoom, for example. Now it's more personal.
So personal relationships are here to stay in the banking sector between the bankers and the clients.
No question, digitalization is a must.
Okay.
However, a certain part, I strongly believe, still remains for personal relationship. So a transaction, a transfer, it will be done online, of course, no question. Why should I come to the branch for this? However, if I'm making really a long-term decision, just like a loan, taking a loan for 25 years, I think it's worth to look into eyes of someone who did it for several times and able to explain me what I should be afraid or open to.
All right. Final question, what's the biggest strength of OTP Bank Romania now?
The biggest strength is that we really grew very, very fast. We increased our size, our number of employees, but we still are not a giant. So we still have time for our customers. We still are able to serve them differently than those who are working like a factory.
All right. Gyula, thank you for your time. That's all the time we have right now. Thank you for your answers and have a great day.
Thank you. Same to you.